the past, present, and future of wind turbines. If you walk through the countryside in many parts of the world today, you might see something remarkable on the horizon. Tall white towers, their long blades slowly spinning in the wind, often set against wide open fields or along coastal shores. These are wind turbines, the modern symbols of clean energy in a changing world. But the story of wind power is much older and more interesting than you might think. To truly understand how wind turbines became such a key part of our energy future, let's take a journey through the past, explore the present, and imagine what's next for this technology. The ancient roots of wind power. Wind is a force that humans have tried to harness for thousands of years. Long before electricity, people were looking for ways to use the natural power of moving air. One of the earliest known uses of wind energy was in ancient Persia, more than 1,000 years ago. Villagers built simple windmills with vertical sails made of reeds or cloth. These early windmills were used to grind grain into flour and pump water for crops and animals. As trade and travel spread new ideas across continents, windmill technology improved and reached new places. In the Middle Ages, windmills became a common sight across Europe, especially in the Netherlands, where flat land and steady winds made them practical and efficient. Dutch windmills are famous even today, with their wooden bodies and large, angled sails. They helped drain marshes, power sawmills, and grind grain, changing the landscape and economy of entire regions. These early wind machines were built with simple materials, wood, stone, and cloth, and depended on skilled millers to operate them. They were not just tools, but also important social centers in rural communities. The sight and sound of spinning blades was a symbol of prosperity and hope. The birth of modern wind turbines. The Industrial Revolution in the 18th and 19th centuries brought huge changes to technology, including how people thought about energy. Steam engines, and later the discovery of electricity, shifted society away from wind and water power and toward coal and oil. For a while, windmills faded into the background, seen as old-fashioned or even obsolete. But not everyone forgot about wind. In the late 1800s, inventors in the United States and Europe began experimenting with wind power devices that could generate electricity. One of the earliest was Charles F. Brush, who built a giant wind turbine in Cleveland, Ohio, in 1887. His machine stood over 18 meters tall, with wooden blades and a system to charge batteries in his laboratory. Although it was inefficient by today's standards, it proved that wind could produce electricity. In Denmark, a country with few natural energy resources but plenty of wind, engineers started building their own wind turbines. Poul La Cour, a Danish scientist, built a series of experimental turbines in the early 1900s, focusing on creating stable and useful electric power for rural communities. During the 20th century, especially in the years after World War II, rural parts of America and Europe saw the spread of small wind turbines that could power lights, radios, and water pumps. These early systems brought hope and progress to isolated places long before the arrival of large power grids. The oil crisis and the new era of wind power. The story of wind turbines took a major turn in the 1970s. The world was shocked by an oil crisis. Prices soared, supplies were threatened, and people started to realize just how dependent society had become on fossil fuels. Governments and scientists began searching for alternatives, ways to power our lives without relying on coal, oil, or gas. It was during this time that the modern wind industry truly began. In California, the government started supporting the development of wind farms in the 1980s. Rows and rows of turbines appeared on windy ridges and mountain passes, producing electricity for thousands of homes. The technology was still basic. Many of the early turbines were unreliable and broke down often, but the dream was alive. Meanwhile, European countries like Denmark and Germany doubled down on wind research. Danish companies became world leaders in wind turbine design, focusing on making machines that were strong, efficient, and safe. By the 1990s, wind power was becoming cost-competitive with traditional energy sources, and the number of wind turbines worldwide started to grow rapidly. Wind turbines today, a global industry. Fast forward to the present day, and wind turbines have become a familiar sight on almost every continent. The technology has advanced dramatically from the wooden windmills of the past. Modern wind turbines can stand taller than a football field is long, sometimes over 200 meters from the ground to the tip of a blade. Each blade can be as long as the wing of a jumbo jet, carefully shaped to catch the wind as efficiently as possible. Turbines can generate anywhere from a few kilowatts to more than 15 megawatts of power, enough to supply thousands of homes with clean, renewable electricity. There are two main types of wind turbines used today: onshore and offshore. Onshore turbines are found on land, usually in open fields or on hillsides where the wind blows strong and steady. Offshore turbines, by contrast, are built out at sea, where winds tend to be stronger and more consistent. Offshore wind farms are especially popular in places like the North Sea, off the coasts of the United Kingdom, Denmark, and the Netherlands. These massive projects can involve hundreds of turbines, all linked together and sending electricity back to the mainland through underwater cables. Wind energy is now one of the fastest growing sources of electricity worldwide. According to the Global Wind Energy Council, more than 100 countries have installed wind turbines, and the total capacity is enough to power hundreds of millions of homes. How do wind turbines work? The basic idea behind a wind turbine is simple. When wind blows over the blades, it creates lift, causing the blades to spin. This turning motion is transferred through a shaft to a generator, which produces electricity. Modern turbines are full of smart technology. Sensors measure wind speed and direction, and computers adjust the angle of the blades to maximize power. Some turbines can even turn their whole body to face in the wind for best performance. Wind turbines have to be tough. They face storms, lightning, freezing temperatures, and even salt spray from the ocean. Engineers use high-tech materials like carbon fiber and advanced composites to make sure the blades are both light and strong. The benefits and challenges of wind energy. Wind energy has a lot going for it. It produces no air pollution or greenhouse gases during operation, making it a key tool in the fight against climate change. Wind is free and will never run out, as long as the sun keeps shining on the earth and creating moving air. Wind farms can be built quickly, often in just a year or two, and provide new jobs in manufacturing, construction, and maintenance. In many places, wind energy is now cheaper than coal or gas. But wind energy isn't perfect. The turbines take up space, and some people find them noisy or don't like how they look. There are concerns about their effects on birds and bats, though designers are working on solutions to minimize these risks. Because the wind doesn't blow all the time, we need ways to store energy or balance it with other sources to keep the lights on day and night. Batteries, smart grids, and better forecasting are helping to solve this problem. Innovations shaping the future. What will the wind turbines of the future look like? The pace of innovation is fast, and new ideas are being tested every year. First, turbines keep getting bigger and more powerful. Engineers are designing super turbines for offshore use, with blades longer than 100 meters and the ability to generate enough electricity for more than 20,000 homes each. Second, floating wind turbines are opening up new possibilities. Instead of fixing the base of the tower to the seabed, these turbines are attached to floating platforms, anchored far from shore. This allows wind farms to be built in deeper water, where the wind is strongest and least likely to interfere with shipping or fishing. Third, new materials and manufacturing methods are making turbines more efficient, easier to recycle, and cheaper to build. Researchers are experimenting with new blade shapes inspired by nature, such as the fins of whales or the wings of birds. Fourth, the future of wind energy also includes smarter integration with other renewable sources, like solar and hydropower, to create stable, resilient energy systems for entire regions. Some scientists are even working on airborne wind turbines, giant kites or drones that fly high in the sky, capturing powerful winds and sending electricity down through a cable. Wind power and a sustainable world. The story of wind turbines is about more than just technology. It's a story of people, ideas, and the ongoing quest to live in balance with nature. For many communities, wind power is creating hope. It means cleaner air, new economic opportunities, and a chance to be part of the solution to the world's biggest problems. Farmers can lease land for wind turbines, earning extra income while still growing crops or grazing animals. Coastal towns are becoming centers of innovation and green jobs as offshore wind projects expand. In developing countries, small wind turbines are bringing electricity to places far from the power grid. This means light for studying at night, power for water pumps, and new possibilities for families and businesses. At the same time, wind power reminds us that real change takes effort and cooperation. Communities need to be involved in planning. Engineers, politicians, business leaders, and ordinary citizens all have a role to play. The road ahead. As we look to the future, the need for clean, reliable, and affordable energy will only grow. Wind turbines will be a crucial part of the answer, along with other renewable sources. The challenges are real, but so are the opportunities. With every turn of a turbine blade, we get a little closer to a world where energy comes from the air above us, not from digging or burning what's below. Next time you see those white towers on a hillside or out at sea, remember the long journey that brought us here, from ancient windmills grinding grain to the latest super turbines lighting up our cities. The story of wind power is far from over. As long as the wind blows, people will keep searching for new ways to harness its strength, protect the planet, and build a better future for everyone.